Hello, welcome to The Update. I'm Abby Smith. While Federal Cabinet is due to meet today, the PM is refusing to say whether Phillip Lowe's future is on the agenda. A decision on if the RBA boss would keep his job after his term expires this year was expected as early as this week. But Anthony Albanese says it's not an easy decision.
We'll make that decision as a Cabinet. It needs to be done before September, but we obviously are giving it proper consideration.
This will come as no real surprise, but concern about the rising cost of living is at a decade high. The latest Ipsos poll shows 70% of Australians think it's one of the three major issues across the country. Housing and the economy come in second and third. National Australia Bank's employees have been granted the right to work from home and a 17.5% pay increase over the next 4 years in a landmark deal. The bank's 25,000 employees will also be able to appeal unreasonable refusals to their work from home requests. The Commonwealth Bank remains in a standoff with its staff over a return to work order. China has been accused of hacking US government emails. Microsoft claims China-based hackers have gained access to the email accounts of around 25 organisations, including government agencies. Research from Japan suggests loneliness can play a role in the development of dementia. Scientists examined nearly 9,000 people with an average age of 73, finding those who have little contact with friends or family have a lower brain volume than those with greater social connection. And more problems in Hollywood, with thousands of actors preparing to join screenwriters in strike action. Negotiations with the streaming giants have broken down. The sticking point, the use of AI and the payment of residuals. Matt Damon among those backing some strike action.
$26,000 a year is what you have to make to get your health insurance, and there are a lot of people who residual payments are what carry them across that threshold, and if those residual payments dry up, so does their health care, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
Entertainment and sport next. Sydney have jumped to 11th on the ladder to remain in the finals hunt after a 2-point win over the Western Bulldogs. The Dogs got the early jump on the Swans before they came back after the first quarter to claim the win at the SCG.
It was really just a couple of decisions and ball use fall to the centre when we had momentum that sort of gave them back momentum in that last quarter that was detrimental.
Western Bulldogs coach Luke Beveridge there. In Friday night footy, it's Melbourne hosting the Lions at the MCG. In NRL, round 20 kicks off tonight with the Knights taking on the West Tigers. The Knights come off the back from a 66-0 win last week, while David Klemmer faces his old team for the first time. To Wimbledon, the women's finals have been set with Ons Jabeur taking on Marketa Vondrousova, the first unseeded player to make the finals in 60 years, while the semi-finals of the gentlemen's singles will see Jannik Sinner face Novak Djokovic and Carlos Alcaraz take on Daniil Medvedev. And the Matildas are expecting a rousing World Cup send-off against France at a sold-out Marvel Stadium tonight. Coach Tony Gustafsson says as many players as possible will likely get game time ahead of next week's World Cup opener against Ireland.
If this was a quarter-final, I would probably treat game time and players differently. So you will see some adjustment according to that. So if you're surprised that maybe a player has a phenomenal game tomorrow and I take her off in halftime, it's going to be different.
In entertainment news, Oscar winner Kevin Spacey has testified in court in London in his trial for sexual assault. The actor spent 3 hours in the witness box fighting back tears and claiming the allegations have destroyed his career. 63-year-old Spacey is facing jail time if found guilty on several assault charges dating back decades. The wait is over for Billie Eilish fans with her contribution to the Barbie movie soundtrack released overnight. Billie telling Zane Lowe the ballad, called What Was I Made For, makes her cry every time she listens to it.
Something I think is really special about this whole experience is Phineas and my love for making music for film. Barbie and Greta just pulled it out of me.
And Taylor Swift continues to break streaming records, becoming the first female artist in history to reach 96 million monthly listeners on Spotify. And that's the latest from the Nova podcast team. We'll see you this afternoon for another episode of The Update.